Welcome back to this another live session traders on Friday. First session of the week, starting with another. Um, it is a big week, guys. I've seen that pretty big week, and coming up, last session of the week. Looking forward to see some great trade coming later today. Good morning, welcome everyone. Ready for another big trading week, and with this FOMC week the market has shown very different price action that you can see, followed by also coming next week also NFP, so that will have also this week have pretty good impact in the market. Gold market that we are looking at is currently showing potentially downtrending bias here in this market. So starting with first of all daily chart on gold. Once all members are here, we can begin our analysis on gold to see that where the market is heading. And looking at this market starting from here, stronger drop followed by this pullback, and you can see another drop followed by pullback again here in that area. So this is the daily price action on gold, which has reached that level where there is a high area of value, and the market has tested this high support down resistance with a pretty bigger long daily candlestick pattern. Yesterday's bullish candle that you guys can see on the daily, which was a full body candle close, and today the market has crossed again that level, and after crossing of that level the market has created this bearish move here in that market. So we are on a level where there is a, if you look at the daily market here on the lower time frame, you can see the market structure here is, we saw there was a significant break in this market on gold from the higher price. And looking at this market structure here on gold, that you can see the price action is currently there is a breakup structure that you can see, and in this breakup structure, if you look at the lower time frame 30 minutes and the lower time frame here, the market is in a both directional bias possible here. We can see there is a initial breakout and then the market on a pullback at the moment. So if you look at the 1 hour price action, here is the market structure from the 1 hour perspective. In the first 30 minutes of this candle has shown significant bullish, and at any point what we are looking here to see the market potentially to, this is, if we look at the bigger picture from the 4 hour chart, that you can see the market is from this support level. As we can see, there was a initial bounce back to the upside, and looking at the daily price action, daily market here, if you look at this, the daily resistance here, the price has tested this lower shadow, and where the price trying to break that high again. The today's, if we look at this is the daily resistance line from the daily perspective here, and the price could eventually retest that daily high that I think here in this market the price action is showing up to be potentially rejecting from this lower price. If you look at, there is a breakup structure in this local uptrend, and the market again heading back here to the upside, potentially to create a new higher high. So there is a local uptrend here on the lower time frame. Now what I am waiting here for this is a currently in a bullish trend, and the market may try to go back to the daily open and close here, which is the daily key level of resistance. And that is where, if we look at the daily key level, this is where also the order block, and what we are expecting here, that the market to potentially go ahead and hit that key level. So this is what, looking at this market to hit that daily key level. So right, so you can see multiple liquidity sweep here on the lower time frame is giving a high probability that gold may potentially to trend back up for short term, or you could see that rejection back again. This trend might be getting exhausted and ready to take the next level. So here is morning, welcome, good day. So I think market again retest from 4032. 4032. There is a possibility for the market to go ahead and hit that daily resistance line, but at the same time, what we are seeing here, that there was a significant drop in that direction, and currently the market structure here is from this level creating series of higher low. There is a two possibility, and I think that the market may eventually, from the daily, if we look at the gold, to drop back below the daily low. That's a long-term picture, but the short-term we can see in this area showing some uptrending market structure on the lower time frame, and that uptrend, looking at the lower time frame here is some bullish. If you look at the 1 minute, it's an organized bullish trend, and that bullish trend could creating series of higher high and higher low respecting this trend line. Now, if this market could break to the upside and then could eventually return back to the major direction of the trend. As soon as the market changes trend here, this is the 1 minute chart. For today, the price has shown this move here in that area. So looking at this market structure that you can see for a directional bias, the way this is heading back to the upside here, if you look at, this is the 15 minutes candlestick pattern, and here is the long wick candle here in that area on the 15-minute chart, and expecting the market to bounce off that level where there is a high area of value. There is quite a few long wick doji, and this trend may continue to rise back here to this high key resistance line here in that market. And It may continue to trend here back to the upside for another wave of bounce here to this key 4045 or 4032 or 23 level. Now daily level that you can see, this is the daily. The market is still can go ahead and retest the daily high. Today's market reached that 4045, right? And it is possible that this market to go ahead and reach that daily high for another retest. So 4024 or even going up to 4039 above this level before it finally collapse again back below here. So there is a bullish, local bullish bias is showing up here in that market. Do you see there is a head and shoulder? With a long weak candlestick pattern here on gold, and the market is showing up to be so far still biased to the upside. And there is a very important trend line that you can see. You can see this is a bullish series of higher low, and if we look at this market here from this support level, there is a bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback. The market is maintaining this series of higher high and higher low, which is in an uptrending market structure. Now, as the market is maintaining this series of higher high and higher low, which is in an uptrend, and that uptrend could create a new higher high here, retesting this trend line to the upside in this market. So if you look at here, where if you long wick doji, this is being formed in this area, and There is the doji with a long wick at the top and expecting it to revert back again to the upside here in that market. And as the market trend is here locally still bullish, we are waiting for a breakout in that market. Are you ready with me for any entry coming later? So Gbpjpy analysis, we will be looking the market again retest. Yep. Good morning everyone. Good morning. Gbpjpy. Anyone else looking at Gbpjpy? So Gbpjpy, we see there was a significant bullish trend continuation here on GJ, and with this bullish move back up on GJ, daily perspective on Gbpjpy after the previous daily break below here to this support level, the market almost tested this gap support. So there was a gap open with a one single drop back below here on Gbpjpy, and with this test of this gap support, previous daily candle again had a bounce back to the upside here in Gbpjpy. So looking at the 15-minute chart on Gbpjpy, we can see that there is a bullish trend continuation here in this market. So from the technical perspective on Gbpjpy is showing that bullish. Quite a few sessions we saw there was a, if you look at it, this is a bull flag, a strong impulse from this support level created this bull flag, tested the lower shadow of this bull flag, the market potentially to create another new higher high on GJ. So the bias here on Gbpjpy to move up again to the direction of the major trend. As the price, if you look at this drop here on the daily, it is a single drop, so it's more than 2 to 3 ATR move that on the daily that we have seen tested this support. So therefore there is a possibility for the market to go back again to this daily resistance is very high. So lower time frame price action could remain here bullish. It's forming a double bottom here or W, and that W could bring that market back again, continuing to the upside here to this daily high. So there's a possibility for nearly to 120 pip move back up here on Gbpjpy. That is where we are looking at, along with GJ on gold, that we can see from the daily and the daily price action. If we look at gold here from this high, there was a significant drop here. Now after the previous daily bullish candle close, today so far the market has tested this lower shadow, and then today's market so far, if you look at, has shown that the market crossed this high and then rejected back below. Now the question is this daily candle potentially breaking below or going back to the upside, right? That's the most important question of this session. That's where we will be able to see the directional bias, because the market can be biased in both direction on gold that here. So looking at from the daily price action, right, you see that this is the daily price action. Now if we consider this trend here, okay, from here a drop, pullback, another drop, pullback, we can expect another drop. That's the this local trend. But at the same time, if you look at the reversal, this is the very important swing low here. Okay, from here we saw that a green candle formation, so the market could continue to rise again here to create another bullish price action. So which one to play out? Now either the market is dropping down here or moving back up here. Here we need to now at the moment only to consider based on the daily high and low, because the market now both directionally biased. So we are looking at the lower time. You see, this is the low and high. This is the daily high and this is the daily low. So whenever the market is crossing this low, we are looking at the upside here. If the market cross this daily high, which is 4045, we are biased to sell for another drop. In between, in this lower time frame, whenever we see a clean change of trend, for example here there is a break of structure, this is the 1 minute price action. So once we see the market is trending with this trend line, we can expect it to go back up to this daily high. So here it is in an uptrending market structure on the lower time frame, unless we see that complete break from this trend line. So we are looking at here only this lower time frame trend will determine which way the market potentially be heading. So it's here you can see it's consolidating, and from this consolidation, how the market will break, we'll see that either this market to go ahead or drop down will determine the next direction in this market. Good morning. Gbpjpy, long or short Gbpusd, dollar CAD. Now, to catch the bigger move is only the way to trade this market. If you look at here, so to catch the bigger move, we need to look at the market that is initially in an initial trend, right? We need to look at a market that is in initial trend. That means in the initial stage of its trend. So looking at here, you can see it's in a this is a local uptrend. Now here this structure is a consolidation. This structure can break to the upside or can break to the downside. If it is breaking to the upside, we want to see a retest, and then we can look for buying opportunity. If this structure breaking to the upside here, right, and then retesting, getting rejection, that's where the market looking at the daily high, which is at this level. narrow sideways consolidation that you can see in this market, and just pretty narrow that you can see in that area with a doji, right? So you can see the market has created this doji. It is in a bullish trend at the moment on this lower time frame, and we will be getting into the trade as soon as the market breaks out of this consolidation. Patience is key, as I mentioned earlier, guys. When you are trading, must be patient. You see, this is a one candle range, okay, one or two candles range, and always the only way can trade this kind of range is to wait for the breakout from that range. That breakout can go in either direction. So this is a bull flag, and at the same time could be an end of uptrend and continue to drop. Looking at the 5 minutes, it's a one candle range, one narrow gain, one red, one narrow doji, one red doji, one green, one red. So it's on a sideways market. All right, so again it's on a consolidation, and from that consolidation, when we are looking at the market to expand from that level, we can expect again to trend, and multiple time frame is the key when you're looking at. If you look at the daily, you can see the market from this daily high here, a stronger drop down back below to this support level. From the 4-hour chart, also initially tested this high, getting rejection. From the 1 hour, a long wick doji, it's almost closing that candle. From 30 minutes, forming also long wick. So I'm looking at the multiple time frame confirmation here for any move in this market. So with the bull flag, slowly it's trying to break that low, right? We can see that there is a break of structure. And as 1 hour candle closing, getting some rejection from this lower price here to the upside. And if you look at it, you can see there's this sharp rejection again back above the 1 minute chart. And that bull flag as a rule of thumb should be breaking to the upside here. So from the 1 hour candle close coming, if you look at, it is where there is a doji and another green bullish candle. Now, yeah, there is a possibility for remaining upside, but I think in that area, depending on how also the lower time frame is closing, 1 minute chart, that you can see quite a few long wick smaller doji. Now here is bull flag has broken back below. Are you going to see a break to the upside? Do you think that gold gonna break to the upside? What's your opinion? Let me see your guess here. What's your thought? Let me start a poll. Do you think that it's gonna break to the upside? What is your guess on gold? I'm just starting as a pool, so you can cast a vote. Let me see. So I'm starting a poll. Share your thought and opinion here. Do you think that gold is going to break to the upside like that, or it's gonna slowly break below and continue to trend? Which one is likely to play out in your view? Is it gonna be like that, or is it gonna be like that? I think upside. Okay, Max said upside. Anyone else? BPN upside. Okay, anyone else different? And in the meantime, guys, if you are enjoying the live session, make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done yet, press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. Welcome. It seems it will break to the downside. Okay. All right, so we see upside, downside. Let me see the. I've shared a poll. You can cast a vote to find out the poll here to see that which way it's heading. If it is breaking the low, then we can expect it to come back here. If it is breaking the up, that we might see the market to going back there. So okay, you got down and up. You see, it just changed in a minute. Just had a bounce back to the upside from this level. That's what, when the market in a consolidation, you'll see the market does this over and over again. Got a bounce back to the upside. Now, from the 1 hour, that you can see the market could still be trending to the upside here in that market. If you look at here, you can see 1 hour. And it might just keep consolidating for a bit more extended period of time. Keep in mind that today is Friday, last day of trading week, and it's almost a potentially reversal day. Friday is considered as more often a reversal day. And you can see the price has broken back to the upside. How far it's gonna bounce will determine now. If it dodge back below, that means after breaking this high, return back below, then we might see the trending back down here in that market. So breaking out of that level here, the price is potentially going back up to create a new higher high. That's what you can see the market to potentially trend back up and then continue to trend. And this is where you can see the price action to show a new higher high. From this inverted head and shoulder, that you can see the price had a breakout and expecting the market to continue to trend back up here to the resistance line. You can see it has had that breakout, and with 1 hour candle close, just before the candle close, it rejected back to the upside from this support level. So with the candle close here from the lower time frame, the market may potentially to trend back here to this 4045 level or even higher, and then could drop back down, right? So here, this is a break of structure and then trending back here in that market. Now, if you look at the daily price action here, this is the daily resistance line where the market is potentially to be heading to the daily high. And So what you can see here on the lower time frame from the 1 hour perspective, the market has here getting the rejection, and this is where if we look at the 1 minute chart, that you can see the market has created pretty long weak candle. The price has broken above as we discussed, and now has tested this support level, getting a potentially upside bias. If you guys look at it, the price again managing to bounce off that level. So we are looking at possible bullish bias here. Now you can see after the break of this bull flag, the market has broken out of that level. Okay, so if you look at here, you can see this is a level that you can see there is a resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, turn support. And because the resistance turns support in that area, the market is showing up to be that bullish bias here in that market, and therefore we are looking at potentially upside bullish entry after price action confirmation for this market to possibility bounce off that level. Right here is a bullish trend continuation that you can see in this market. Now, if you look at the 4-hour chart, guys, if you look at here, that the market from this support level had an initial bounce back to the upside, and you could see the market to continue to trend back here to create a new higher high. The market trends showing up to be significantly bullish in that area. As the market approaching the daily resistance line, if you look at to the daily 20 EMA from the 1 hour perspective, also the market is showing up to be bullish bias here. On the lower time frame, that the market is, if you look at here, is the lower time frame, the price is maintaining this series of higher low, expecting it to break out and then continue to trend back here. And with this bullish impulsive move back to the upside here in that market to show up that the market to bring that price back above. So with this order block that you can see, the market has tested this previous resistance as support on the lower time frame, is still showing up that there is still possibility for a bullish trend continuation, and that might bring the price back above, or we could see that break below. So if the price again breaking below this 4,000, okay, then we are looking at 3980 level. You're getting some rejection from the higher price. All right, so here with this initial bounce, the price has started to drop down to that support here. The market has tested the previous resistance as a support, and it's on a key level. This structure, if failed to create a higher high, we may see that this market to continue to trend back below here in that area. With a pretty long bearish candlestick pattern. Okay, from here, it's slowly building a possible another momentum back above. Now, if the market managed to break that high, which is, I think, there is a very strong rejection from the higher price here. Let's see if the market is breaking this new high. I think we could see that the price to potentially to come down for a deeper pullback in that direction. With this support level, the market, you can say, is from this level getting another reaction back to the upside, and I'm waiting for an entry on a high probability setup. Now, if there wasn't a stronger rejection, we could look to enter here, depending on how now this structure is forming. If it is creating a big head and shoulder here, then looking at here. If the market is especially creating a smaller green candle, there's another one slowly going like that, we might see that continuation back above. It is still on a range until we see the trend. Welcome back to this live session. I think it's going down, it might go upside. So far we saw that there was an initial breakout, but it still is, if you look at closely, you can see the buyers and sellers still fully undecided here in that area, because this is where the market has broken out of that bull flag, and after break up out of this bull flag, the price trading above this level with a retest of this resistance as a support multiple times, and getting again rejection back above. So that could continue to rise up, and if that is showing up, then we will be looking to enter the bullish entry for this potential trend continuation here. And there's a bearish fair value gap. If you look at from this resistance to this level here, this is bearish fair value gap. If you look at from here till here, okay, it's a bearish fair value gap. And if the market is crossing that high, we might see that a trend continuation back above to fill that bearish fair value gap here in that market. Okay, with a breakup structure again has shown to be upside in this market, which is showing the market potentially to remain bullish back to the upside to create a new higher high. Awesome, that's a breakout. Looking at entry, things going down. It's has shown that bullish bias back to the upside. As the market structure is maintaining this uptrending bias here, we could see the market to continue to trend, possibly going back there and then continue to rise even higher. So there's a 5-minute candle close. As you can see, it's a bullish price action. Would like to take some more here that I'm looking for a suitable entry in that area on gold. And this is where, if you look at, this is where the support here, and with a doji, the market is showing up to be bullish bias here in that market to create a new higher high. There's a gap open on the lower time of the right that you can see. Now the price approaching the daily, you look at, this is the daily open, right, where the market open initially has gone up, drop back down. So there is a possibility now for the market to go ahead and hit that daily high again. Okay, so this is the daily high before potentially drop down again to the daily low or continue to trend back up. This is a bullish trend potentially showing up. So with the candle close here on the 5-minute chart, there is another 54 pip move back to the upside. With this bullish price action, that is showing the market potentially to continue to rise back to the upside. Looking at the 15-minute chart, also showing up to be bullish. There is a crossover of 10 and 20 MA, and this is currently showing up that the price to potentially cross that high. There is an imbalance in this area if you look at all of these long wicks, and could potentially to rise up here, create a new higher high in that market. Breaking below here can give us another entry opportunity on this market. If you look at the lower time frame, this is a long week candlestick pattern, and so if we see there is another breakup structure here, the current support is here. We can look for possible entry from a breakup structure. I'm ready for any kind of entry coming up along the way. Okay, so you see from the support level there is an initial bounce, and the market trend is still bullish. We see the price has just reached that daily open where the market opened earlier, and this is like to delete all those lines to freshly looking at the market, guys. You can see that this is now a daily doji, right, which has tested the market to the high and also to the low, and the price now on that level. So from here there is two-way direction the market could go, going back up to cross this daily high, or going break down here, breaking this daily low. Now, as the previous daily market was bullish, as the previous daily price action formed a bullish impulse here in that market, we are likely to see the market to go ahead and potentially cross this high. The possibility is to the upside here. let's see a little more time to see how the market is doing. Ready for an entry? Things going down. This might be go up. So we had almost 50% towards upside. In the board that we have posted the pool, 75% were bullish. You guys are right. 75%, only 25% was bearish. So the market has reflected that pattern here, right? Which is good to see that most of you are really predicting with a high accuracy. Now, this is where the price now at this level, right? From here, the market suddenly break any of this low or high from the daily perspective that you can see in this market. And what is now on the local time frame, that means the lower time frame trend, if you look at the 4 hour and the lower time frame, which is bullish. So the possibility here that the market to cross 4045 and then potentially to create a new higher high, because the trend is showing up to be bullish here in that market. Okay, so we see there is another breakout structure. Now is where you need to see if the market is having a bullish bias from this level again. As if we look at the 4-hour, we can see the market cross that high, and okay, so here is the breakup structure that you can see. Will be opening by market from this level, stop loss keeping below this swing low here, nearly to here. We will be using 44 to little higher, so we'll be using here nearly 40 pip stop loss for a new higher high, potentially to bounce off the level as the market has broken from the structure with a tight stop loss, expecting an initial bounce back to the upside here in that market. So keeping a stop loss at 4015.72, which is a very tight stop loss. The market may still can come down to break that low. In that case, we might see even a change of trend. Here we can see there is a significant break of structure and expecting the market to bounce off that level. So quite a few long week candle here. Now with the fact that the market could continue to rise with this breakup structure, we have seen there is a breakup structure and we have opened that position based on that. If the market trend back below, that could happen. If that happened, that we will be exiting the trade early. This is now significantly bullish market, so we have open trade in the direction of the major trend. Now we'll see how the market reacting to this level here for potentially another flight back to the upside from this support level. So it's a buy trade, buy market, stop loss with a very tight, and if the market shows up to have another bounce back to the upside, if we can see going up to even 50 pip up, will be good idea. If the market drop down breaking this low here, then we might see even a change of trend, and that's would even happen. So let's see that how the market is reacting. We see a couple of doji being formed, getting some rejection back to the upside, and there's the 1 minute price action, multiple doji. We have just entered into the profit area. Come on, that's where if the price getting too much liquidity from here, you might see that rejection back. the trend is up, we have opened in the direction of the trend. That is our main motto, is to trade with the trend, so that we have seen high probability trade. The market is random, okay? So if we are trading with the trend, this always, you'll see that over the long term, if you do the risk management, you're gonna be profitable. Now here is the market in a very key level that expecting the market to potentially to reject back above. But however, if it is creating a very unusual reversal here, then we might see that the price to drop back down. But still, I'm expecting to trend in the direction of the major trend. So looking at the 1 hour chart, that you can see, this is the 1 hour price action. There is a bullish bounce in that area, where also if you look at the 30 minutes price action, this is where the market is showing up to be upside here. Looking at the 15 minutes and the 5 minutes here, that you can see also form pretty narrower doji. Expecting it to bounce off that level. Now another scenario could be the market to, if it break that support, to be here, and that is still, I'm looking to see the market is maintaining an uptrending market structure in that area. Come on, that's getting rejection from the higher price. So see that where it is heading to. That's broken back below, so you might see the downside here. The market has completely broken down, so you are down to 40 pip. Okay, so the market has got rejection from the higher price. Now that might bring the price back below to this support level. So from the daily resistance line, it got a rejection. So there is a rejection from this lower price here, and market from head and shoulder. It formed a head and shoulder, but the trend is still up. So it created that head and shoulder on this daily resistance line, and that is, you can see it's now building that momentum back again, potentially for another bounce back to the upside. So we can look at here for possible upside. Let's see that how far the market is potentially to bounce in that. So this is on a support level. This head and shoulder has broken back below. More often the market end up to go back again to the direction of the trend. We are looking at this market for potential trend continuation back above here. So we'll be waiting for the market to rearrange, and if you look at the daily, from the daily resistance line, it dropped back below in that level. Now this is the 1 hour candle closing, which is pretty long, dodgy, and the possibility here that the market to go ahead and create a higher high as the last day of trading week. We'll see that how this 4 hour candle close, and then based on that we can look for further entry opportunity. As there is a break of structure, it's now trying to bounce off again. It is always a good idea is to wait when the market breaks like that. This is a fake head and shoulder that you can see, and after this fake head and shoulder, it is now again trending, and that could bring that market to back up, crossing that high and then continuing to the upside to create a new higher high in that market. This is what we're waiting for, a new higher high in that area. So that being said, guys, coming up another live session in just a matter of 3 hours for the NY, and we'll see you there again trading live. Patience is key. We will be taking more trades in the next session once the market prepared for another move back to the upside. That being said, it was a great enjoyable session with all of you. Always trade with the trend and with risk management. I'll see you there again with another live session coming up in few hours. That being said, we'll see you again. Thank you.